There are an estimated 15,000 self-help books published every year and around 10 million copies sold in the US alone. With so many to choose from, is the whole self-help industry a scam, or can they actually set you up for success like they all promise? You're probably thinking what all these books can teach you, what's the hype? I mean, you can read all the best ones like Atomic Habits, A Subtle Art, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The 4 Agreements, Thinking Fast and Slow. Those are just to name some of the best ones in the market at the moment. But at the end of the day, all they all want to teach you is a problem that needs to be solved. They always break it down into the 4 main areas, which is physical, mental, emotional, and just general well-being. And it's usually with a relatable story that they've lived through with their personal experience, or it could be through experiments and science where they've figured out what the best option is going forward. It really depends what works for you and your brain. Is it the philosophy aspect of it, or is it the data? It's a bit hard to argue with data when research suggests that self-care promotes positive health outcomes like building resilience, living longer, becoming better equipped to manage, stress and high emotions. Over the last 18 months, I've read a mixture of self-help books around productivity, wellness, motivation, and I got the gist of it and started implementing things here and there, but I had no consistency. It wasn't until I read Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday that things actually started to click inside. And it was pretty ironic that that was the thing I was missing, discipline at the end of the day, but I found my missing puzzle piece. And that's sometimes all it takes is that one extra book for all that information to finally compound or sink in, but I actually only got to that point because I've read so many others. The biggest trick is trying to make it stick long term. There was a researcher in psychology of memory that actually discovered something called the forgetting curve. And essentially it's where you forget newly acquired information within the first couple of hours or within the first couple of days. But if you reinforce what you learn through spaced repetition, so that's just regular intervals, rereading what it is that you wrote or notes that you took, you actually remember that information more long term. A good thing is to highlight, dog ear, take notes inside the book. It's about capturing what resonates with you. And I love the feeling of a well-used book. It just makes it feel more loved. But if it's something that you're going to be using on a regular basis or something that you want to reference, you want to make sure that you're not afraid to actually, bang it around, pop it in a bag, chuck it everywhere with you. There is also a popular method by Ryan Holiday, and a lot of other authors use it as well. So you can write the information or the highlighted points you want on index cards, keep it all stored, categorize so you can reference it later or pull that information back for when you need it. Other ways is you can journal, sleep on it, talk to someone or teach someone about it. The main thing is capturing and curating what resonates with you the most. And having a capture system and juggling all that information is literally an art within itself, and it took me a really long time to get it right. Once you have all the information, then it's time to start creating habits and systems of the things that you really want to do. You can do that through scheduling, calendar blocking, using habit trackers, whether they're digital or physical habit trackers. The key is just to be managing your time overall. What you want to do is turn that habit into a ritual. Just say if you have 30 minutes for writing and just don't have enough time or time got away for you, just write for 5-10 minutes. Just show up, create that habit and create that consistency. And it's about trial and error. So if it doesn't work that first few times, change it up, see what else might work. So for example, I tried to journal at nighttime and I found that I was just missing way too many days. It just wasn't working. So I switched it up and put it in the morning time, and I had heaps better consistency, heaps better flow. And I found that just worked for me a lot better. The whole idea is just not give up and switch it up and just see if something else will work instead. Resources are also another really good thing. So continue to learn outside of that book that you might be trying to practice. Does that author have a blog? Do they have a newsletter? Do they have a podcast that they have, or do they go on other podcasts? Do they have a YouTube channel and videos? There's a whole bunch of content out there that you can gain a lot more information from. Accountability is also another thing that helps it work long term. Do you have a friend, a partner, a colleague, someone that can help follow up, someone that can, check in to see how you're doing? If you don't have that, is there a community or an online group that everyone comes together and discusses what it is they're trying to do? When it comes down to it, being consistent, putting in the effort, putting in that discipline is what's going to make it last. And who's going to say if all that discipline, if all that hard work, all that effort's actually going to pay off or actually going to benefit you? I actually found that my focus was a lot more honed in, so my productivity was heaps better. I found that my time management was a lot more efficient, so if I found a certain task bled out, I knew exactly where it came from so I could fine tune it for next time. My energy levels were a lot better as well, and overall I felt a lot more balanced and centered within myself. When it comes to this huge genre and the massive amount of books that are available, it's only really through time, practice, and patience that you can see if it's actually working. Maybe self-help books aren't for you, and that's That's why he clicked on this video. But the most important thing is making sure you're adding to your life in a positive way rather than taking away what's important to you. A video about how to capture and curate will be coming soon, so subscribe to the channel to pick up some new tools, and thank you for watching.